I wanted to recall why the previous generation of PlayStation is considered one of the best in history. We will look at the most popular games developed by PlayStation Studios from 2010 to 2024, for which players specifically bought this console. On March 19th, 2010, the game God of War 3 was released. It is the latest installment in the traditional format of the series, focused more on gameplay than the storyline. This classic hack and slash game features numerous enemies on a single screen, combo attacks, and platformer elements. The game introduced more bosses and impressive action scenes, especially at the beginning, reinforcing its status as a new installment in the series. A remastered version with enhanced graphics was released in 2015, and even now looks stunning on the PlayStation 5, running smoothly at 60 FPS. Also in 2010, the game Heavy Rain was released, one of the first in the interactive cinema genre, where the ending depends on our actions. In the game's storyline, the father loses his child, and our task is to find the original serial killer. Alongside the main character, we play other characters like detectives. Our task is to press buttons in time and think through actions that affect the plot's development. The dark and gloomy atmosphere helps immerse the main character in the emotions and the events around him. On November 14th, 2011, Uncharted 3 was released. My channel subscribers already know that this is my favorite game series. The story of Nathan Drake and his team searching for a lost city and its treasures is continued. In the third installment, the gameplay and the scale of events reached a high level. We are treated to diverse locations and missions. The plane crash, one of the missions, became legendary and was even filmed. We learn more about the main character's childhood and his acquaintance with Sully. The ending hints after the story, but an incredible continuation awaits us. On 2013, one of the main games of the generation, the first part of The Last of Us, was released. This game showed that a storyline can be on par with cinema. The story tells of a post-apocalyptic world where the planet is infected with a virus. We follow Joel and Ellie, who have a chance to create a cure, but things aren't that simple. We become attached to the main characters, their relationships, and their experiences. Despite being released in 2013, the game offers many diverse locations and unexpected plot twists. The gameplay in The Last of Us is mainly based on stealth, but that's not the main reason for the game's popularity. A remaster was released in 2014, and a full remake in 2023. On March 1st, 2014, the latest game in the infamous series, Second Son, was released. This series has always showcased the capabilities of new consoles, using all their features, including the touchpad on the DualShock 4. The game looks impressive even now thanks to its many bright special effects. In the story, you can choose between the dark and light sides, playing through the game in different styles. To get the Platinum Trophy, you'll need to play through the game several times. In 2014, one of the best racing games of the PS4 generation, Drive Club, was also released. Playing Drive Club is exciting due to its balance between difficulty and simplicity, challenge, and fun. The game was meant to compete with Forza, but it became unique thanks to its realistic raindrops that obscure the track. On February 20th, 2015, The Order 1886 was released, considered one of the most beautiful games of that time. The screen format with bars at the top and bottom gives the game a cinematic feel. However, despite the focus on the storyline, the story did not turn out to be very interesting. Magical England, beautiful design, and enjoyable shooting in the order 1886 does not save it from a dull and uninspired narrative. There are no intrigue or attention-grabbing moments. The dialogues are predictable, and much of the story seems missing. The relationships between the characters develop too quickly, and some episodes seem to disappear. Despite this, the game remains one of the most beautiful. In 2015, one of the most beloved games in the Souls-like genre, Bloodborne, was released. From Software released the Dark Souls trilogy, Sekiro, and Elden Ring, but Bloodborne is the one that fans still remember and demand a remake or remaster for. The game incorporated all the elements we love about Souls-like games. Challenging enemies, a mysterious storyline, and upgrades. Bloodborne became more dynamic, rewarding an aggressive playstyle. Instead of shields, there's parrying with weapons. This gameplay made Dark Souls 3 more dynamic, benefiting the genre. Many bosses, intricate locations, and a unique atmosphere keep players returning to this game. If you haven't played a Souls-like game, I recommend starting with Bloodborne, which is more beginner-friendly. On August 25th, 2015, Until Dawn was released, another exclusive in the interactive cinema genre. The game became one of the best in its genre, and a remake is expected at the end of 2024. The story is about teenagers who decide to relax in a house in the woods, where strange events occur. They encounter the mythical creature Wendigo. Until Dawn represents classic American horror, teenagers, including a nerd, a dumb blonde, an alpha, and others. The game surprised me by incorporating elements from the PLA franchise and having an unexpected ending. The fate of the characters depends on you, giving the game high replayability. Starting in 2016, we began receiving one hit after another. That's when Uncharted 4 was released. The difference between the third and fourth parts felt like 15 years had passed. The facial rendering, locations, everything was on a cosmic level. In my opinion, the plot is the strongest in the series. The game smoothly leads to the conclusion of Nathan Drake's story, immersing you in nostalgia for the previous parts and making it clear that this is his last adventure. The locations became larger, giving the impression of an open world. In the story, we meet Nathan's brother, who is thought to be lost. We learn more about Nathan's childhood and the truth about the Drake surname. On February 28th, 2017, Horizon Zero Dawn was released, a new franchise we will see more of. In a post-apocalyptic world ruled by robots, humanity has reverted to primitive times, but with latest technologies. Each fight with a robot is unique. We shoot at vulnerable spots, set traps, and prepare resources for each battle. The plot keeps the intrigue throughout the game. On April 20th, 2018, God of War 4 was released. A game unlike anything we had seen before. It divided players into those who liked it and those who did not. The focus is now on the relationship between Kratos and his son Atreus. The gameplay changed, and instead of a non-stop hack and slash, we got something new. I liked the new combat system, especially using the axe. I spent a lot of time mastering the combos, and when you start to get the hang of them, the visuals on the screen look amazing. It would be best if you played the game on the highest difficulty for a more exciting experience. This game deservedly became the game of the year. On May 25th, 2018, Detroit Become Human was released as the best game in the interactive cinema genre. I was invested in each character's story arc. I played it more than 3 times and will return to it many more times because there are many moments in the game where you can miss parts of the story. In the storyline, domestic robots created for household needs begin to realize they want to become human. I won't spoil it any further. Try this masterpiece. On September 7th, 2018, the best game about the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man was released. Many studios have tried to create a game about Peter Parker, but only Insomniac Games has done it right. The best Spider-Man game has yet to be made. It features the best web swinging in New York, and the Sinister Six appears right in the storyline. The ending will touch even the toughest players. This game became one of the main reasons to buy a PS4 and PS5. In Spider-Man, we are treated to the best web swinging in New York and the appearance of the Sinister Six right away. The ending will touch even the most demanding players. This game became one of the main reasons to buy a PS4 and PS5. Days Gone was released on April 26th, 2019, a game about the post-apocalypse, zombies, and a gripping story. The main character on his motorcycle goes through various troubles, and the tension remains until the end of the game. There is crafting, a huge open world, and memorable characters. However, due to mixed reviews from critics and players, Sony closed the studio, and a sequel will not be released. In the same year, 2019, Hideo Kojima released Death Stranding, a unique game. To some extent, it's a courier simulator, but set in an unusual universe filled with mysteries. The gameplay involves properly distributing cargo and delivering it safely. Cutscenes sometimes last more than 30 minutes, but the game is incredibly engaging due to its storyline. On June 19th, 2020, the highly anticipated game The Last of Us Part 2 was released. This is the continuation of the famous game from Naughty Dog, telling a grim story of revenge and the consequences of violence. The game stands out with its realistic characters and emotionally charged plot. The visual effects and gameplay are top-notch, providing an immersive experience. On July 17th, 2020, Ghost of Tsushima was released. An exciting action game from Sucker Punch, it tells the story of the samurai Jin Sakai in feudal Japan. The game offers an open world with beautiful landscapes and diverse quests. The combat mechanics and stylish presentation make it one of the best action games of its time. On June 11th, 2021, we began playing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, the new installment in the famous platformer series from Insomniac Games, showcasing the capabilities of the PS5. The game features instant transitions between dimensions and colorful graphics. The dynamic gameplay and variety of weapons make it exciting for players of all ages. On April 30th, 2021, Returnal was released. It's a third-person shooter from Housemarque with science fiction and horror elements. The game offers challenging and dynamic combat and an atmospheric world full of mysteries. The constantly changing levels and gripping storyline keep the player interested throughout the playthrough. On February 18th, 2022, Horizon Forbidden West greatly interested PS5 enthusiasts. The continuation of the post-apocalyptic action game from Guerrilla Games, the game offers a vast open world with improved graphics and new mechanics. The captivating plot and variety of enemies make it a worthy sequel to the original. The release date for God of War Ragnarök is November 9th, 2022. It continues the epic saga about Kratos and his son Atreus by Santa Monica Studio. The game offers a deeply crafted storyline with mythological elements and thrilling battles. Improved graphics and new features make it one of the best exclusives for PS5. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 delighted Spider-Man fans on October 20th, 2023. It's the continuation of Spider-Man's adventures by Insomniac Games. The game offers an exciting story featuring 2 Spider-Men and improved combat mechanics. Stunning graphics and dynamic gameplay make it a must-buy for fans of the series. Everyone is curious about the new releases for 2024, but I can promise that as soon as all the most anticipated games from Sony come out, we will make a separate video. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next video.